I have director and writer Maura Collins of Love Bites, MM61, and the making of MM61. Maura, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Maura, can you tell our viewers a bit about yourself before we jump into the films?
Yeah, sure. I've been doing film in high school at least for the past 4 years, and I'd like to become a director when I'm older and hopefully work for Disney one day and direct some of those animated films. I love making films that like connect with the audience when it comes to like comedy and making people laugh and smile, but also making people feel heard with certain like mental illness topics that I'm starting to explore more now. So yeah, as an artist, I'm always learning and I'm excited to move forward in life. So yeah,
We're so excited to have you. And again, congratulations on
thank
being
you.
accepted into the Garden State Film Festival. Is this your first time with the Garden State Film Festival?
No, it's not. I've been in it the past couple years, and it's been great every time. So
Well, congratulations for coming back.
thank
So,
you.
Maura, can you tell our live viewers a bit about your films?
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to think of which film I should start at. Um, Hold on. So, Love Bites. That was probably I think that's my most recent one. Yeah, that's my most recent one, and that one was really fun to make. It's kind of like about this guy who is a real vampire, and he is worried about his love life, and he matches with a girl on this dating site who is human, and he tries to hide the fact that he's a vampire, and it's kind of just like silly little like slapstick comedy type stuff of him trying to like do like stupid stuff like stay out of the sun and like not eat garlic and all that like stupid little stuff. But it was really fun to make with all the cinematography from one of a friend of mine who is incredible. Her name's Darla. She's so great with the cinematography in that film. And then MM61 was a real challenge to make. It was an almost entirely shot on 60 millimeter film, and it was the first time I've worked with that, and first time any of my friends and classmates and I have worked on it. And it was started as a class project, and it moved forward more into our TV and film club at South, and it was really hard to do because it 16 millimeter film's so different from other mediums. So we started out with a narrative like about this guy like going through the works of a 9 to 5 job, like almost like a factory worker type of thing. And then it flourished into this more experimental thing about like society as a whole, and how that 9 to 5 job like affects them psychologically. So it's entirely visual film. And then the making of MM61 is just a little mini documentary about the making of that, where you see me and a lot of my fellow filmmakers like talk about making the film. And that one I'm pretty proud of as well because it I love watching documentaries like that. So it was really fun to like be able to help edit and like make one. So yeah, that's it.
Well, so you're talking about how Love Bites is this cute, quirky little comedy, right? And then
Yeah.
MM61, I know you have like your documentary style with the making of MM61. Is MM61 itself more of like a drama or
It's more of like an experimental film where
okay?
it's like it takes a little bit to like understand the narrative of it because there are
Mhm.
so many like repeating visuals and like effects with like editing and stuff. So it's more of like a experimental, almost like statement type of thing.
So with Love Bites, you did mention that you love making films that make people laugh and make people feel, like something that's fun, that's easy to watch. And so Love Bites for you and the inspiration for that, I'm assuming came from that wanting to make people laugh.
Yeah, definitely. I've made a few comedies in the past, and like it was always fun with my friends to make them. And I found at least with this specific group of people I was with a lot last year, it was a lot of like bouncing ideas off each other, and it always ended up being a comedy because that's just how our personalities mesh together. So it was really fun like being able to do that. It was more of like a game to like make those types of films.
You know what though? I mean, that's where some great inspiration can really come from. So
Yeah.
with the making of MM61 and MM61 itself, what inspired you to make that film?
Oh, well, in film class, we learned so much about the history of film and, like, just, like, way in the beginning, like, how film was started, and I remember my teacher, Mr. Corey, he said that we had access to these 16 millimeter cameras, and, like, as a filmmaker, it's almost impossible to not, like, take up that opportunity, so we looked at a lot of, like, really old films. I'm trying to remember the names of some of them, but it's just, like, really, like, paying homage to, like, really, like, old directors, old films, because people don't really do that much,
Mhm.
nowadays, and I feel like it's always so fun to do that, but, yeah, and I also haven't made a experimental film before that, so it was also, like, trying to find my way with that as well.
I love that. That's a great concept. So, what would you say then is, because I know you said you're having a hard time thinking of one, but if you could think of, what your favorite movie is to watch that inspires you as a writer and director, can you pick one?
Yeah, ironically, it's so different from MM61 and a lot of the films I make now, but my favorite film is La La Land,
Okay.
and it's what inspired me to go, I guess, full throttle with film and, like, pursue that as a career rather than as, like, a having I used to have so many backups before of, like, "Oh, this is more realistic," but after watching La La Land, it just looked like a dream to work on, and I was like, "I have to do something like that in my career."
I love that for you. And you are a senior in high school right now?
Yes, yeah.
And you said that you want to move forward being a director. So are you looking at, I'm assuming, some college programs
Yes,
for,
I am, yeah.
okay, do you want to like share, with our audience?
Yeah, sure. Oh gosh, there's I remember, okay, I applied to like Emerson and some state schools like Montclair. SCAD is a big favorite of mine. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't end up there because I like the warmth and I love being surrounded by creative people. So I think SCAD would be able to offer that. I was looking at Chapman University in California, which is a much harder one to get into. So we'll see eventually if I get in there. But but yeah, Emerson, University of Miami, like just all like film schools. But yeah,
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
yeah,
So
thank you.
you're welcome. So, what do you think is something that you learned with these films? And I guess, with your time in school, that you an obstacle that you ran into that maybe helped teach you something that you can use moving forward.
I think the definitely the biggest one is having to plan ahead and almost planning for future problems, if that
Mhm.
makes any sense, because with every single film that I've done, there's always been some, like even if it's, like, the best group of people, like, ever, there's always some big thing that, like, sets us back, like, immensely that becomes, like, a huge problem, so, like, I think being early with everything has made things so much easier, and there've been many times in class where, like, I wouldn't submit a film on time and I'd be super stressed about it, but, like, and it almost makes me want to, like, stop, but, like, I have to keep going. It's more of, like, starting early and making sure that I'm, like, able to finish, which has been problems before, which is something definitely that I make sure to, like, keep track on now.
No, that's a great skill to like really hone in on, and it does affect not even just filmmaking, but like all aspects of life. Just making sure to plan ahead and to have like that B plan, C plan, and whatnot. So, with a question that I do have is, when did you start filmmaking and directing and writing? Like, when would you say like was like your first movie that you made?
I was one of those kids in, like, elementary school that play with iMovie all the time.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. So, I was definitely, like even in, like, 4th grade, I, like, would type out, like a 10-page script and, like, force my friends to, like, memorize it, and they never do, but I would. So, I like, back then was when I would, like, actually try to do filmmaking, but like seriously filmmaking and making films definitely started in 7th grade when I made an animation about my anxiety, and then in high school is when I took classes on it.
And what would you say is your favorite that thing that you've ever made?
Oh, I think it's between maybe like 2 or 3 where like I love Bites just because of the cinematography and like the colors and just I had a lot of fun working on it. So I love that one. My other film, The Love That Remains, which is from a couple years ago, I made with a bunch of when I was a sophomore at the time, I was working with all like seniors and they kind of taught me everything that I know now. So that was probably my first like successful film, which I love as well. And then my anxiety animation called I Want Them to Know. I love that one just because of how nostalgic it was because it's based off my own experience and like getting to look back on that and see how much I've grown since then as a filmmaker, as a person, like in every way. That is definitely something that I really love. So it's between those three.
In a way, you are building your own time capsule of movies to
Yeah.
look back on in the future. So, oh my gosh, I just lost the question. Okay. So, what do you want your viewers to get out of watching, Love Bites, and MM61?
Definitely something I want, like, I guess, like the audience to know is like between like Love Bites and MM61 and the making of MM61 are so different when it comes to like tone and like story and everything. So I guess like something big is that as an artist, don't like confine yourself to one box or one genre. Like you can explore many different things and they could still be successful, they could still be good. So like don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone in a way. Where like MM61 was definitely way out of my comfort zone, but it's one of my most successful films now. So that's definitely something. But yeah.
What is something you haven't explored yet, genre wise?
Oh, something I haven't explored. Let's see. I think like I haven't done a full horror thing. I've done, like, semi-horror with, like, drama,
Okay.
um, and, most of my films, I haven't really used sound that much other than, like, putting music in the background, but I haven't used dialogue and stuff really, that's, like, in sync with, like, the people talking, so and I'm starting to do that now in my films, so, yeah, definitely, I wanna start doing that more.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that moving forward. Are you planning on coming to the Garden State Film Festival?
Yeah, if I can, I have to talk to my parents about it, but yes, I do. If it's open that day, I'll even try to make things open, but yes.
And how did you discover the Garden State Film Festival? I know this wasn't your first year, but when you first, started out with the Garden State.
My teacher, Mr. Corey, he tells us all about all these film festivals, and he told us that he really likes this one, and he always likes to send us into it, so yeah, that's how I found out about it.
I mean, I would say I really like this one, but I may be a
Yeah.
little biased. Well, I'm so excited. I do hope that you do come because I think it would be such a pleasure to meet you. And thank you so much for joining with me today, Maura. Guys, you can see Love Bites on Saturday, March 25th at the Kingsley Ballroom from 9:30 to 11:45. And you can see MM61 and the making of MM61 on Sunday, March 26th in the Kingsley Ballroom again from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Maura, I hope to see you there and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, thank you.